Good morning. I'm Jonathan.
Hi, I'm Haley.
We're in the living room. It's weird.
And today we're going to do read-alike recommendations for The Martian by Andy Weir.
So, my first recommendation is Have Spacesuit Will Travel by Robert Heinlein. It is a bit of juvenile science fiction from way back in the day. I think it's from the 60s. But it is. I'm recommending it because if you really liked the technical parts of The Martian, where he's talking about how the equipment in space works and how all that goes, I think you'll like this one as well. It's about a high school student this is back in the 50s when they thought that we would be on the moon by 2000 and all that sort of stuff, who wins a surplus spacesuit in a contest and decides to fix it up so that it works as good as it was when it was new. And the first big chunk of the book is just basically a manual on how spacesuits are designed and so on. And then I'm not going to spoil anything, but adventures ensue, and it's a lot of fun. I will also mention it has a I've got a fantastic audiobook copy of it by Full Cast Audio. I don't know if it's still in print or whatever the word would be for audiobooks, but if you can get it, it's great. It's a lot of fun to listen to. They really did a good job on it.
It is a nice audiobook. I'm not a fan, but he's listened to it at bedtime a couple of times, and it is pleasant. It has a wholesome kind of feel to it. It feels like middle grade fiction, like it works. And my first recommendation is kind of going out on a limb because I have not actually read the book, but I've read many things by that author, and I know that she does high quality nonfiction writing that is very humorous, and that is Mary Roach's Packing for Mars. It is a hypothetical nonfiction that requires that applies a lot of science knowledge to questions about things that would happen in space and the idea of longer term space travel. Mary Roach has a very sarcastic voice. The way she writes is it is geared to make you laugh while it's teaching you something, and I think that appeals to a lot of people who read The Martian.
My next recommendation is going to be All Systems Red by Martha Wells. It is about a security robot type character who is contracted out to provide security for scientific surveys of unexplored planets and so on, that has hacked its governor module so that it can watch sitcoms in its downtime, and it is very full of sarcastic wit and just kind of has that journal feeling a little bit. The Martian was explicitly a journal, but it's just kind of a daily log type thing that I had a lot of fun with it. It's a novella. It's short. It's part of an ongoing series where they've got a new novella coming out every few months, and so far I've really been enjoying them. It's a really fun, quick read if you're just kind of itching for, something sci-fi with a lot of misanthropic, sarcastic humor to it.
You have been reading those books a lot lately.
I've read, there are only two of them out, but I actually foolishly decided to start it the day before this year started, so it couldn't be part of this year's reading challenge or my January what did we read and so on. But partly it's because I didn't quite realize it was a novella at the time, and I sort of thought I'd still be reading it, but it took me one day.
My second recommendation is 70s by Neil Stephenson, and I picked this book because I think it really reflects the time that of sci-fi writing that's happening right now, like the era of it, it's very similar in tone and structure to The Martian, and it's got a lot of the same kind of grand disaster feelings. Though I do think that you have to be willing to undertake a slightly grander narrative if you're going to read it, because The Martian is so much more focused. And while the first half of Seven Eves is sort of that narrow focus, you definitely expand into like a wider, broader idea. Like, it changes. So maybe if you're not into more fantastical narratives, that would not be for you. But I think that basically anybody who likes The Martian would like Seven Eves by Neil Stephenson.
Yeah, I can see that.
We both also read those books really close together. Like, really close.
They fit well. Neil Stephenson has a real kind of, like, info dumpy type, just taking a while to talk about something that's interesting to him writing style, and I think it kind of mirrors well with the style in a lot of ways.
And they are both definitely solidly in the camp of sci-fi and, like, have a sort of near planetary theme, so...
For my third recommendation, I am going to recommend Pay Me Bug by Christopher B. Wright. This one it's available for free on the author's website. It was part of a like serial fiction thing where he published a new chapter when they were done basically, but every so often, though it is finished now. It is science fiction, and it's on the comedic side. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Firefly. It's if it were a bit lighter in tone. But it is about a group of kind of on the fringes of the law, like spaceship crew that get involved in a grand heist type thing. And so the book is just, it's a heist story, and it's a lot of fun, and I really hope that some of y'all check it out, because it's definitely a less well-known author, and I really like his stuff. So,
and it's free.
Yeah, it is free. I think they have a copy available for you to buy if you really want it in that form. But if you don't mind just reading it on your computer, just read it on his website.
Bug your library to buy it.
I should do that. Anyways.
My third recommendation is not as on the nose as the others, I don't think, but it is Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell, and I think the doorway in which these both reside is survival narratives. Like, if you enjoy the parts of The Martian that are on Mars, I think you will like Island of the Blue Dolphins. Like, it is solitary, and it deals with the reestablishment of communications and living in a harsh condition by yourself, and how the familiar can become unfamiliar. It is a classic of middle grade literature, and really, really good. I think that everyone should read it, really, and if you like The Martian, you're already kind of prepped to like this kind of narrative. And that's it. We only did 3 apiece.
Yep.
We didn't want it to get, overloaded, but... And we both read this book really close together and really liked The Martian, so obviously, if you haven't read The Martian, you should read it. The movie's quite good, but the book is fun.
Though I was, very impressed by how good an adaptation the movie ended up being. I expected it to be.
Oh, it's legitimately, a great movie. I just really hate Matt Damon.
Yeah.
All offense to Matt Damon.
Okay.
We're leaving that in. I don't care. Our Goodreads and all of the books we talked about will be linked below in the doodly-doo.
And if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. We would love to hear from you in the comments what you would recommend for fans of The Martian who are looking for more. And if you want to see more of us, subscribe so you'll see our new videos coming out, because we hope to see you guys again soon.
Bye, y'all.